end, Jeff, we'll just be ready to pass to you. I do have my volume turned down, so I'm going to depend on Jeff to monitor the questions and the opening of the mic. Thank you very much for coming, and we really appreciate it. We just wanted to do a walkthrough on the procedures for printing the report cards in the office. And the teachers are working on their report cards now in Gradebook, and it would be advised, and we're going to be having a separate call with the principals tomorrow morning, that a timeline, if it has not already been set, be established at the school. So you want to know a date where you'll be able to say to all of your teachers, all of your grades and comments should be entered in Gradebook. The teachers have the ability to put a check mark on that says grades are final, and the only way to check on that is through Power Teacher Admin. We are finding that this error is coming up more often than not on Power Teacher Admin, so it's not possible right now to run a report at the office to know who has their final grades in. So what we are asking principals, and we'll review with them tomorrow, is make it a date that is established with the staff. So once that date is established and you know the marks are in, I'm sure there will be teachers coming to you already asking to see what their report cards look like, because they can't see the whole report card on their end. They can see the grades they've entered, they can see the comments they've entered, and they can do a strand report and see and confirm the strands, but they can't see the whole thing pulled together. So when everybody has their marks in, you're going to be on your school, and there's different ways you can do this. You can do this for a class of students, a grade of students, or an individual student. So if a teacher has to do an adjustment on an individual student's report card, it isn't necessary to print the whole class. You can print just that student. So we'll start with a class, and we can access the class through teacher schedules or master schedule. I'll go to teacher schedules. And this is a training school, so this teacher is going to have more than the normal class selection. So in here, you would want to be able to select the students in a teacher's homeroom, and you can do that selection by clicking on the enrollment number. And I'm going to say make current selection. So I've now selected those students. You can see they are my current selection. And I'm going to go to System Reports. And the report cards are located in the customized New Brunswick reports. Yours will look a little different from mine because my training environment does not have all the same reports you do. But I am going to click on the Elementary Progress Report. It's important here that I choose the right quarter. The progress report will be pulling from Q1 and later in April from Q3. When we do the achievement reports, we'll be pulling from Q2 and Q4. So I choose Q1. Your school can enter a comment. Once I enter it once for the elementary report, it will always be there. If I want to customize it for any given grade level, I'll just have to type something different in here. This is the office space. You may include when your parent teachers are or any other information you'd like to get out. I click Submit, and the report cards generate. Now, I can, right here, I can see the report cards. Jeff will walk through at the end on your printer settings because my print driver is giving me some problems today, so I can't go to the printer and page setup, but he'll walk through that at the end. So I've got the report cards, and I could save them as a PDF or an XPS, one of the two, both what teachers would be able to open. And it could be a school choice, but you could save them and email them to the teacher for verification, or you can print them for verification. And I checked with your school administration how they'd like to handle that. But when we finish walking through this process, Jeff will walk you through saving them as PDF or XPS. So that's the report card. If I wanted to print it, I could, but we'll just go back here now and I'll just close this. So that was an elementary report card. And I'll go back to Power School Home. So again, if I want to choose a class, I can go to Teacher Schedules or I can go to Master Schedule. I click on the number that represents the students in the class or the enrollment number. I make them my current selection, and then I run the report for them. They are working on some fine touches on the reports based on feedback we received this week from schools. So I would wait on running your official report cards. We are requesting, and this fix will be installed on Sundays, that we have bolder titles so they stand out better. We are requesting consistency. The curriculum people would like the symbol "and" used for all strands, so that will be corrected. Any abbreviations in the titles, the names will be corrected to be complete. They're pulling from the course names right now. They're going to extend those, and they're going to assess if there is space to indent the strands so they're more evident as strands. So they're looking at some touches on that. So I would wait on official ones, but there's no harm on teachers verifying from these versions. I'm going to go back now and show you how to run reports for a grade level. In talking to some schools that have smaller multi-age classes, it might be easier to run by the grade level and then just manually sort the reports. So here I've chosen K, which makes them my selected group. I go to System Reports, NB Reports, and I'm going to run the Kindergarten Progress Report Card. Again, my selected students are there. I want to assure I'm on Q1, and I submit. So there's the kindergarten report, and again, the report cards will be here. Any of the comments the teachers have added will be here. There was one error picked up on the kindergarten report. The teachers are entering the comments for transition to school for kindergarten, and the coding to pull them needs to be fixed. So right now, if you ran a kindergarten report card, that comment would not be appearing. Teachers can continue to enter them, and come Monday, they will appear. There you can see where the school comment is. Also, if you have questions from kindergarten teachers that they don't have strands for the other subjects, the kindergarten progress report is different from all the other 1 to 8 report cards. So they're only entering for English language arts, mathematics, and transition to schools and the learning habits. So that's what the kindergarten report card looks like. I'm just going to go in and look at some middle school students. So again, choosing by grade level, I can choose a grade level, and that automatically selects them. System reports, NB reports. The report card for 1 to 8 is the same report card. Q1. Submit. So again, this is incomplete data on this. I can tell by looking at it that if I was running this in my school, that some of these teachers have yet to submit their marks in gradebook. They do not have to have clicked that their marks are final. If you run these at any point, if they have marks on the final grade tab in gradebook, it will pull. So they will be here because they entered them there. A troubleshooting issue you may want to watch for if a teacher says, I've got my grades in and you're not seeing them. We've sent out Another reminder message to teachers, and we've covered it in the sessions, but they have to be on Q1 in their grade book because that's where the report card is pulling from. So if they're showing grades, I think the best check on that one is to go look at what quarter you've got your grade book set on. And unfortunately, if they haven't made that correct setting, they do have to re-enter the grades on the report card. So again, grade 6, the subject names that you see here are based on the subjects that the student is enrolled in. And that's why we were asking the teachers to check their grade books and confirm that they have the correct subjects, because they will not appear on a child's report card unless the child is enrolled in that class, and same goes for the teachers. The teachers will not be able to enter grades if they do not have that class assigned to them. So that's the double check and the fix we're working on now. If a teacher comes to you and they're missing something, you can log that on their behalf as a help desk, or they can log it themselves. But usually we'll probably have to contact you to clarify, depending on how complex a change might be, but we can certainly assist in that. And for everybody on our team, we're making it a priority to address any concerns that would impact on the teachers being able to generate the report cards and you being able to run them, because we know we're time sensitive on that. The other way that you can run a report card is to choose an individual student. So perhaps you've run a whole class and you just need to make a change on one. If I start to type a student's name, I can select the student that way. That will work if I have personalized set up. So we went through this earlier in training, but if you type students' names and they don't start to auto-populate, it's go to personalize, click on interface, and make sure you've got this enable smart search checked. That allows the names to auto-populate. I'll just go back here. So this is my student. They are selected. And if I wanted to narrow them down from a bigger group, I could have the whole group, and I could say select by hand. And maybe I'm only going to run the report for a couple of students that teachers made changes to. And I'll update my selection. And now I only have 3 students selected, so I'm going to go System Reports, NB Reports, Elementary, School, and this, yours will say Elementary and Middle. The label isn't correct on the training server. I go to Q1, I submit, and then I only have report cards for the 3 students I selected. So again, I can choose a grade level, I can select by hand, and I can select only the students that I want to run the report for. After I make that selection, I have to click on the Update Selection button, and then I'm ready to run the report for just 3 people. I'm going to let control of the desktop now go over to Jeff, and he's going to walk you through how to run the report and to show you the settings. So we assure you have the shading and the correct landscape for the kindergarten report, and also so you don't end up with the URLs or dates on the page. So I'm going to let go of sharing and pass Jeff. Are you there, Jeff?
Sorry there, Mary Jo. I just had to log back in again. Things just weren't quite working right. Okay, so what I'm going to do is walk you through the process of printing the actual report cards. So I'm going to go to a school. I'll pick. I think Mary Jo, you were working in Harvey High School, so I'll pick that. Yes. Okay. to. My apologies. Okay, so the process for completing the printing version of the report, there are two things that you can do. An email was sent out a few days ago from Michael White from SIS saying that there was a link that you could go to actually download what's called a Qt PDF writer. That allows you to save a document as a PDF. And if you choose to do that, then you have the ability to save your report cards as a group in a file and as an electronic file and move that into an electronic database if you want. Otherwise, the ability to print is what you want to be able to do. So we need to be able to print the report cards. Now, I noticed one thing here, and I'm just going to switch, and I apologize for taking a little extra time, but I noticed that I'm not in the right browser. So I'm just going to switch browsers for a second. Just give me a second here. I want to make sure that I'm working in the same browser that okay, this is better now. So I'm going to go to System Reports and do Reports, and I'll print the kindergarten progress reports. And we didn't quite get the result we were looking for. Just 1 second.
School are you in, Jeff? I can't see.
I'm in actually Harvey Elementary School,
Okay.
and I have a feeling it's my browser issue today. I'm having an issue with Internet Explorer. I'm going to continue in Firefox because, but I'll have to talk about two different things that are going on at the same time. So
Why don't you, before you leave there on Internet Explorer, show them where the toggle is to do their settings?
okay, I'll do that. So when you're working in Internet Explorer, the issue that we're having today is not an issue with PowerSchool. It's an issue with my browser and my computer, and it's been ongoing for most of the day. But printing of the report card, once you get the report cards on the screen, very similar to what Mary Jo already showed you, you're going to click on the gear mechanism right here, up in the upper right hand corner, and you're going to click on print, and you're going to see this page setup. And that's very important to do. So I'm going to click on page setup, and this box will appear. I'll just move to the center. And there's a few things that you want to make sure are included here in order to print. The first thing is you want to make sure that the print background colors and images is checked. You also want to make sure that the right size paper is here. It should be letter size, and you want to make sure that it's set to landscape.
And that would be landscape only for the kindergarten report card.
That's right. Sorry, my apologies. Landscape for kindergarten, portrait for all of the report cards. So landscape, kindergarten, portrait for everybody else, but this box you want checked because that enables the shading to come out in the report card, so it shades properly. So heading boxes and so on are shaded. All of these boxes where it says headers and footers, these boxes may have information in them. You want to turn that off. So you want to turn them all to empty. Once you turn all of these to empty, then you've got your settings set to print your report card. So all you need to do now is click OK, and your page setup is done. So when you come back in to print your report card, you don't have to go into page setup again. You've already done that. You've done it once. You'll need to do it again to change to portrait mode for your different grade. But for kindergarten, you're set, and you click on print. Now you're going to notice that there are options for printing. Obviously, you'll have your options in your building, depending on what printer you're printing to. But one of the options, if I go back, you'll notice that I have what's called Qt PDF Writer. So if you wanted to create a PDF of this document to either send to the homeroom teacher or perhaps keep as an electronic copy, this is the way you would do that. So you would just click on Qt PDF Writer, and that selects it as your printer, but it's actually not going to print. It's going to bring up a save box. So if I click on print, I'll just take a second. And you'll see that a save box comes up, and it asks you where you want to save it. So you can save it to the desktop or wherever you'd like to save it, and you can call it whatever you'd like. K report Smith, if you wanted to do something like that, and you save the document. And that creates a PDF that you can now share with your staff or your teacher, and they will have a copy of their electronic copy of the report cards. It's also something that you can have easy access to at any time. But that's if you wanted to create a PDF. So I'm just going to click cancel because I'm not going to follow through on that. But if you do decide to just print the report cards, then it's, again, the gear mechanism, print. Just go to print, select the appropriate printer, and just click print. So you have your two options. You can create it as a PDF, or you can print to whatever printer you need to in your building. Just bear in mind that that Qt PDF Writer won't appear there unless you follow the instructions that were sent out by Michael White this week on how to actually download that. I downloaded it on Monday evening. It took about 5 or 6 minutes to download. It took no time at all. And it just shows up in your printer windows. So it doesn't show up anywhere else. Sometimes you think it didn't actually download, but when you actually go to print something, it will appear as one of your printers. So again, Qt PDF Writer is a way to save documents as a PDF.
Before you close that, Jeff, can you just show them the XPS just in case they had trouble with a download?
Absolutely. So another way to actually print is to choose Microsoft XPS Document Writer. It's Microsoft's version of a file save. So you can actually click on Microsoft XPS Document Writer and click print. And again, it won't print. It will bring you to a save box, and you can save it as an XPS document, which can be opened. So it's another way of saving files that you can share amongst your staff and send them as well. So you have Microsoft XPS Document Writer already installed. Everyone has that as default. But the Qt PDF Writer is another one that you can do. You can see that I've actually created a test version right here on my screen, Test XPS, which is what a Microsoft Document Writer works as. And it saves quite fine. It saves nicely, opens easily, and teachers can view that as well. So again, that would be from printer gear to print. And then you would select Microsoft XPS Document Writer. My preference, I think, would probably be to look at the Qt PDF Writer if you can, because most of us are familiar with PDF documents. But if you don't want to download that or are not familiar how to do that, the Microsoft XPS Document Writer is there as well.
Jeff, I just went in mine to print just to see. I don't have that Microsoft XPS.
Okay, you should have that, Marie. If you don't have that, it might be. You might have an older version of Office.
The only options I have are my printers and a send to OneNote.
Okay, so if you don't have it, then it's something that you can certainly ask by a help desk. But my recommendation would probably be to download the Qt PDF Writer. You don't need admin rights to do it. You can do it off the link that was sent out, and it works very, very cleanly.
Okay.
Mary Jo, did you want me to touch on anything else before I close off, or?
If you wouldn't mind going to Firefox, as you were going to, and run a report and go through the process of saving it when it's open, just to show what happens.
Absolutely.
And I think
Okay.
we'll stop sharing and see if anybody has any questions.
Okay. So what I'll do is I'll actually go through the process of saving the document. So just give me 1 second here to log in. Any particular school, Mary Jo, in training, or?
There's data in Harvey Elementary and there's data in Harvey High.
Okay. I'll go to Harvey Elementary. Perfect.
Richard just mentioned there is an EIS, an ASDW self-installation software page that includes Qt PDF.
Yes, I think that's the link that Michael sent out this week.
And Richard is sharing the link here in the chat box. So if anybody wants to take that. And I know that Mike was also adding the Power Teacher Gradebook icon as a self-install on the same page for teachers.
So you'll notice I'm going to follow the same process that Mary Jo did. I'm just going to select my K students. I'm going to go to System Reports, NB Reports, and my Kindergarten Progress Reports. I'll make sure I select just those students. For Q1, I can type in my information here for parent, teacher, or anything I need to put in here. Click Submit. And the Kindergarten Progress Report will then appear. So of course it would have data in it in your school. So to print, I'm doing it through Firefox, but the process virtually is the same. Firefox uses a different icon up here. You would be using the gear. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to click on print. And you'll notice that this print icon will come up for me. It'll look a little different than, but the option is for Qt PDF Writer. I'm going to click OK.
And just while that's saving, you could see that Jeff, in doing this, hasn't yet turned on his shading. So this gives you an idea what the report card looks like when the shading isn't on. So any of the bars that are grayed out would appear white. And that's why the step he showed you earlier on that.
That's right. So the page setup would be very important because it would give you a better look and feel. This one is a very plain look. So I'm just creating elementary progress reports, and I'm going to put that on my desktop. And click Save. And that's it. The document is now saved to my desktop. I can go select it anytime I want. I can also print out from here if I need to. Or if I absolutely want to, I can just X out. I can go back in. I can change my options. I can actually, I'm in Firefox, it works a little differently. I won't go, that'll confuse you. So I can change my options in page setup, make sure that these shadings will appear, and then the report card will print off. So again, best option for you would be to click on here, print, page setup, make sure that the print background colors and images is set. Make sure all of these boxes say empty. Make sure you're set on letter size. And make sure you're set on portrait for all grades except for kindergarten. Kindergarten, you want to be on landscape, and then all other grades will be on portrait. Okay, I think, Mary Jo, that part covers me. I'm going to close off on sharing, but if anybody has any questions, certainly either type them in the text box or you can open your mic and ask that question.
So does anyone have any questions that you have in addition to what was covered today? Feel free to open your mic if you do. Also, as you go through the process, if questions come up, you can ask them. Marie, did you have a question?
Yeah, I just did. I missed the part on the page setup procedure when we had dismissal here. So this is on Data Connect, correct?
Mark is going to put it on the YouTube for Power School for Tech Tuesday, and then I'll take the URL and I'll put it on Data Connect.
Okay, that's great. Yep.
And you'll be able to go through on that. It will be near the end of the video. We covered that in the last 10 minutes.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else have any questions? Should we be saving these files for an undetermined amount of time? Once the teachers have finalized the report cards, I would recommend at that point, and it's going to have to be determined whether it's a school procedure or a teacher procedure, a duplicate copy of the report. So a copy of the report should go in the child's CUME card. As far as saving the electronic versions, where this is a pilot year, I would hold a folder with the electronic versions until we come through the pilot, and then we can determine from there what's most appropriate. We are testing a middle school report card this morning. A comment that a teacher entered came up for all 3 students is an error on... A comment that a teacher entered came up for all the students. The best thing, Deanna, if you don't mind, is email me the name of the teacher, the name of the course, and the name of the students, and I can go in on Gradebook and actually take a look at what happened. Any other questions? We are going to review this with principals tomorrow morning. Also, we did have some questions about school logos. They will be part of the build on the next report card. There just was not time to complete the coding and the collection of the images and loading them to the server. So on subsequent report cards, there will be a school logo image in the left-hand corner. We're also getting feedback as we go through this process, so certainly the look and appearance of this will evolve and change as we go through our pilot.
Mary Jo, just a quick question, just a quick response to Deanna's question. We'll take a look even further, but just talking to Mary here from Pearson in the room, that potentially could be, there is the ability that teachers have to actually apply a comment to all students in the class. So they may have accidentally done that.
Okay, so we'll have to check on that, and we'll get Deanna to send us more information. It was meant just for one, so what we can do with the teacher's name and the class name is to go in and actually look what's going on in the grade book so we can see for sure what happened, and then we can let you and the teacher know. If nobody has any more questions, I think we'll wrap for today, and that will allow Mark an opportunity to render the video. And but certainly if questions come up as you're going through this process, do not hesitate to contact us, and we can certainly, if you're having challenges at all with the page setup, we'd be happy to log on, link with you, and walk through the process. So we're just a link call or an email away, and thank you very much for your participation on such short notice.